Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we are going to take a look at Bitcoin and the Bitcoin related stocks. Okay, if you take a look here, Bitcoin is still up 21% since last week, but it has cooled down. As you can see here, it made a double top here at that 4,468 level. Okay, so you can see here there's a double top. Okay, so it topped out right here, and then came back up and made a intraday double top, and then so it's since pulled back. Now it's pulled down to this to around 4,200, 4,250, and so the psychological level to hold now is going to be 4,000. It's still in a very strong uptrend. You can see the very strong uptrend. The key now is to break higher and make new highs. If it fails to break that 4,468 level, you could see it pull back. If it breaks below 4,000, that could be a signal that Bitcoin's starting to lose steam and could start a correction. So far, this is just a normal pullback. It's not looking like a drastic sell-off yet, but we need to keep our eye on that. If it drops below 4,000, that will be a red flag that Bitcoin is cooling down. Now it's above 4,000. Bulls would like to see it stay above that level. Talking about Bitcoin, if you're interested in ICOs and initial coin offerings, this website was alerted to me today in our chat by one of our chat members. It's really into cryptocurrency, and this is Token Lot, and it looks like I haven't really checked out the site too much, but I'm looking forward to researching it and learning more. It looks like you can buy some of these tokens pre-IPO, not sure, pre-ICO, initial coin offering. Anyways, take a look at Token Lot. I think you'll find some good information there. Okay, let's look at GBTC. Okay, this is Bitcoin Investment Trust, and it tends to just follow Bitcoin's movement. And this is a chart we've been working on. You can see it's still at overbought levels on RSI and Fasto. You've got a doji that formed today, and so it's currently in this really strong uptrend, riding EMA4 at 708 support. Notice how all these candles have closed above EMA4. So a close below EMA4 at 708, that's going to be your big signal that Bitcoin is cooling down. Okay, so during this entire breakout, it's been staying above that level. So a close below is going to be a change in trend, and so that would put this EMA8 at 654 on deck. As long as this middle Bollinger Band at 517 is holding, the uptrend is still super strong, and the signal is to keep riding. No telling how high Bitcoin's going to go. As long as candles are riding above EMA4 support on the daily chart, the signal is to keep riding if you're a swing trader. There's no reason to exit until EMA4 breaks, or unless you're just trying to lock in those gains along the way. And there's, nobody ever goes broke locking in gains, so keep that in mind. Okay, let's look at MGTI. Okay, this stock has bucked the trend. As you probably know, some of the Bitcoin penny stocks are in the process of a correction. Well, MGTI it had 1 day pause. If you look down here, it was up on Monday, and then on Tuesday it had a pause candle. It pulled back. It tested the 300-day simple moving average, currently at 162. That's this blue line here, and it also came down. It's hard to see on this chart. I have this chart because of the gap back here that I want to show you, but the lower wick on Tuesday's candle filled the gap. So when the gap filled, there was no unfinished business, and then it happened to close back above 300-day simple moving average. Those were all signals that the chart was still super strong, along with the close back above EMA4, that there was more upside potential. And what we were looking for was a gap fill. And so if you look back here in October of 2016, there's a gap created between high of day or low of day on this candle and high of day on this candle. And so the gap finally filled today. So this is the top, this circle here, and this red horizontal resistance line represents the top of the gap, and so it busted through the top of the gap like a champ and kept running. I'm not sure if you caught our IDXG chart or not that we posted last night, and we also featured it in a video, but that was another gap play, and that hit the gap level and failed to break it yesterday, and then it had a gap down open. And so there is the potential for MGTI to have a gap down open as well tomorrow. That's always the risk when a gap fills. So if that does happen, the EMA 4 at 199 will be the first moving average support level. You'd really like to see this top of the gap hold, which is about 215. Okay, and then to the upside, if MGTI keeps pushing forward, because that was a nice close above the top of the gap. You want to see this closing price back here in on the 11th of October. So that's this high close level at about 250. So 250 is going to be the next big resistance level to break. It's going to need to get above that level. If it can get above that level, then you could see a run up here. There is actually another gap above, which is way up here. Between about 310 and 320. It's those aren't exact numbers, and we can get into that a little more detail if it breaks through that 250. We'll discuss that in the next video. And yeah, so we just have to just always keep in mind that when there's a gap fill, that's always a signal to be locking in some gains, at least lock in some gains. Many times that is a climax. And if you look up here at FASTO and RSI, you will see why we were, what's going on. It's very, very overbought. If you look here, FASTO closed at 99. That's extreme overbought levels. Okay, like the last times that this level was hit, you could see we could see what happened in the past. Okay, so it was hit right here, and that marked a top. Okay, and it pulled back after that. And then if you look back here, when it was hit, that was the temporary top down here on the 50 simple moving average, and then it was a top again right here at the peak of this run here in March. So just to show people that don't know about that aren't familiar with FASTO, 100 is maxed on FASTO, and many times when a share price when FASTO gets hit to 99 or 100, it signals temporarily overbought, and the stock takes a pause. If you look up here at RSI is at 76 and overbought levels, and this is a level where it has pulled back from the past. Notice how this was the top before. So yes, and keep in mind that notice how RSI is lining up with the previous tops. So yeah, so it's a frothy close, very, very strong, just a frothy close. Want to see that 300-day simple moving average hold if there is a pullback, and to the upside, if there's a break above 250, you could see a run to $3. Okay, let's take a look at GAHC. This is another Bitcoin related stock that is bucking the trend. It had the same pattern as MGTI. Notice on Monday it was up. It had the gap up open, and then Tuesday it had the red candle. It pulled back, and then on Wednesday it came down here. And notice how the lower wick on these candles hit this green line. The green line is the 50-day simple moving average, currently at 0.0233. It held those levels, and then notice how the real candle bodies. That's the square here and this rectangle. Notice how they stayed above this pink line. That's EMA 4 at 0.0331. Those are all signals that the chart is still very strong. So the candles are in a riding what we call the bullish upper Bollinger Band channel, riding EMA 4 support higher. This is as good as it gets right now. It's got it closed just above this candle here. The closing price back here on the 20th of June is the key level to turn into support. And then to the upside, if it can get through 0.04, you could be looking at a possible run back up here to 0.055. That was the high close back here on the 6th of June. That's the big target. This is what we call filling the jar. Notice there was a downtrend. It came down, it found support at 0.0125, and then now there's a new uptrend starting. So many times they'll keep working their way back up to the previous high, and that will complete the cycle. So that's what we're looking for here. On the downside, if you see a close below EMA 4, that's going to be the signal that the chart's cooling down. And on any kind of pullback, you just want to see this 50-day simple moving average in the middle Bollinger Band at 0.0232 hold. As long as those levels are holding, that signals the uptrend is strong and there's more upside potential. Okay, let's look at BTSC. This is Bitcoin Services. This came back, and so if you caught our last video, we pointed out that it had made a double top here, and so it came, it hit this 14.5 level, which was the closing price back here on June 5th, and that signaled a double top, very similar to what I was talking about in this last chart. Notice how that was the top back here on June 5th, June 6th, and then it came down, and now it's working its way back up. Well, BTCS already completed that. Okay, so it was here at June 5th, it came all the way down, it found support. This is just like the other chart we were looking at. But this stock made its way all the way back up to that key resistance level. See how it filled the jar, like we were talking about in that last video or last chart. And so it filled the jar back to that level. It completed that cycle, and now it pulled back. Okay, what we want to see now is with the close below EMA 4, if EMA 8 support break, 0.0 10 cents breaks, then the big level to hold is the 50-day simple moving average in the middle Bollinger Band at 0.08. That should be a solid reload target if this chart is going to be strong. If those support levels break, that would be a signal that there's something fundamentally wrong and the chart is broken, and it would become a risk to hold. You could see a drop down here to the 100-day simple moving average down here at 0.06. You can notice how that's lined up with the previous low. Basically, it has to stay above the 50-day simple moving average and the middle Bollinger Band, which is also the 20-day simple moving average, for BTSC to remain in play. We're looking for potential bounce and reload off of 8 support zone. Okay, so let's look at BTCS. Okay, this is the other another one of the Bitcoin stocks that we've been following. And yeah, if you look here, okay, so it came up and it formed a bearish 3 gap ups reversal pattern. Just to let you know, these are charts that were posted a few days ago, a couple days ago, that we've been working on. We keep pulling these out as a way to see the updates and see how the chart unfolds, as a way to learn. And so it's nice to see what the action was before, and then how the action followed. And so you can see what happens here when you have 3 gap ups and then you have the climax spike. Notice the big pullback from high of day, we discussed that, and then you have the giant volume spike. This is what we call the climax spike. That's the signal to lock in gains, so take note on that in future reference. The gap up open, the run to high day, the big pullback with the long upper wick, and then the giant volume spike during a multi-day run above, with the candle closing above the upper Bollinger Band. Those are all signals to lock them in. And then the following day, on Tuesday, the bearish reversal pattern was confirmed, and now the candles have been pulling back. Okay, and so if you look at the key level to hold, it's going to be right down here at the 300-day simple moving average at 18. That's looking like the reload target. Okay, the EMA 13 and 19 is lining up with that level as well. This came down and filled the gap, so the gap is filled. There's no more unfilled gaps in the chart. If you look here at the 15-minute chart, this is the BTCS 15-minute chart, you can see it ran up and then it pulled back, and it's been in this long downtrend. Look how they're working it all the way back down. Okay, and so it broke this is the green lines, it broke the 50-day simple moving average. Okay, it broke the 100-day simple moving average, and then now it's broke the 200-day simple moving average. So what does that do? It puts the 300-day simple moving average on deck, and look at that number. What is that number? 18. What did we say on this last one? 18. Okay, so 18 is the reload level. That should be the level that this stock bounces off of. That is our target. Not sure if it will hit there, but if it does hit there, it should be a good zone to play the bounce. If for some reason that level does not hold, then the chart's just totally broken, and you don't want to have anything to do with the stock anyways. So 18 is the bottom here. It should bounce off that level, and then it needs to get back above the 200. So the 200, it could bounce off of this tomorrow. And that's something to keep in mind. And then it's all about this green line here, the 50 simple moving average at 25. Once it gets back above the middle Bollinger Band, the dotted purple line, notice how it keeps hitting that on the way down, big resistance. And then notice how it hit the 50 and the 100 here. Once it gets above the middle Bollinger Band and the 50 simple moving average, then that'll be the signal that it's ready to get running again. Okay, so keep an eye on it. We're looking for a potential bounce off of 18. And then look at BITCF here. Okay, this is the one where the company came out and said they were creating crazy overpriced. You know, they hit 315. You know, this got to be like you know, over a $500 million valuation. I believe that the when they said that they were freaking $450 million valuation, I think it was down here on the valuation on the 11th, which was all the way down here at 150, and it doubled that. So this could have been temporarily almost a $1 billion valuation. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but I'm pretty sure that that's how it played out. The numbers were that on the 11th it was worth like 454 million, and market cap, and then it hit that $3, and then it's busting it up to, you know, so just crazy overvaluation. Now it's pulled back, it filled the gap. It did form bearish 3 gaps up to reversal pattern, and then that red candle on Tuesday did confirm the pattern. It's coming down right now, and it's hitting the EMA 13 at 116. That's the orange line. That is the key level to hold right now. If that breaks, we're looking at the dollar level. The dollar is always a big support level, and so if it cannot bounce between $1 and $1.16, that's going to signal big downside risk, and you could see it drop down to the 70s. The middle Bollinger Band's all the way down here at 77. Many times when a stock breaks out like this and it gets above the upper Bollinger Band and pulls back, it works its way all the way back to the middle Bollinger Band, and so that would be a huge correction from this level. So you don't want to catch a falling knife. So be careful playing the bounce here. You know, if a dollar level breaks, I would wait for the middle Bollinger Band for it to drop all the way down to the high 70s. If you look here at the BITCF 15-minute chart, you'll see here how the dollar level is playing out. We were just talking in the last video about the significance of the 300-day simple moving average and how it's a big support level. And so you can see here that this is this is coming down and breaking all the moving averages, just like the BTCS chart. And so, you know, this broke the 50 simple moving average here, you know, and then it bounced off the 100, and then that finally broke here, the gold line, the 100 simple moving average, and then it came down here, and then it broke the red line, which is the 200 simple moving average, and you know, it did close above the middle Bollinger Band, but it has to, you know, it has a lot of work to do to turn that into support. And so it looks like the logical level on this chart for it to drop to, not sure if it's going to do it, but if it came down to the 300 simple moving average, notice how that's lined up with $1. Okay, and then if you look back here, this was the big breakout level. You know, it hit hit $1, pulled back, and then once it got above $1, that's when it really took off running, you know, and it ended up having a 200% move from there. So this should be the big level to bounce off of. So we're looking at a potential reload for BITCF for technical bounce potential technical bounce play off of the $1 level. And so if it hits that level and holds, it could make a nice technical bounce play. If that level breaks, shoot for those 70s, because it could drop down to that middle Bollinger Band. Okay, let's look at SING. Okay, this is the weed token stock here. They came out with the weed coin, and so yeah, they're trying to help with the marijuana industry with their banking process. And so basically, what's going on here is this has had a monster run. It had a fat finger. You have to pretty much just disregard this 41 here. But the big thing is it had a bearish reversal pattern. It formed bearish hair me reversal pattern on Tuesday. It confirmed the pattern on Wednesday, and now it's pulling back. It hit EMA 13 right here at 0.06. That's the orange line. Notice back here in the first week of August, okay, it had the big run, and then it came all the way back, and it hit EMA 13 and held, and that was the level, the support level that it kept running from. And so what we're looking for is a potential bounce off of 0.06. Right now, that is the potential reload level if it holds. It has to hold. If it breaks, then we'll be shooting for 0.04. Okay, 0.04 is a huge support level on this chart. Notice the gold line, the red line, and the dotted purple line are all lined up in that zone. That's the 100 and 200 and 20-day simple moving averages all lined up at 4. That should be a huge support level if it is tested. If those levels break, the stock will the chart will be broken. and you can see it drop down to the 50 and 300 simple moving averages. It basically needs to hold 4 cents to keep this uptrend going. So we're looking for, if the chart is very strong, then it'll bounce off a 6. If there's still signs of weakness, it could bounce off a 4. To the upside, you can see what happened here. It formed a double top at 12. If you've been following our videos, 12 was the big level. It did come up and hit that, so this completed the cycle. We talk a lot about filling the jar, and that's exactly what this did. It came down, found support, and then it came all the way back up and filled the jar very quickly. Look how it took, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months of working its way down, and basically 1 month to fill it. So they can be really quickly when they bounce back up. Stocks can be in a long downtrend and be shorted for an extended period of time, and then break out and make very quick moves to the upside. But keep in mind the moves to the downside can be very long, and that's why we never recommend holding penny stocks that are forming candles below the middle Bollinger Band unless you are short. Okay, so let's take a look at one more ticker here. This is SWHI. This is kind of the lotto play. This is the worst of the breed. Yeah, basically we're keeping an eye on it because it's Bitcoin related, and it used to trade up here around 2 cents, and then it came all the way down. Notice that the Bollinger Bands are super tight. You can barely see them here. And then it's all this volume down here that's caught our attention. So we're keeping an eye on it to see if something happens. We're just watching the action to see if it heats up. This is the 3-month daily chart. You can see here it's been struggling with 0.0015. So keep an eye on that level. If it closes above 0.015, that could be a signal the chart is heating up. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, initial coin offerings, and just about charts and technical analysis, please come check us out in our chat and our website at mychartcoach.com. Okay, thank you. And the YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com as well. Thank you very much.